Living in wealth and privilege, the illegitimate mixed-race daughter of a Royal Navy Admiral finds herself inspiring the end of slavery in 18th century England in Belle.
Hi, my name's Mbatha-Raw. You're watching Made in Hollywood, and here is a scene from my film, Belle.
Do not be afraid. I am here to take you to a good life, a life that you were born to. Love her as I would were I here, and ensure that she is in receipt of all that is due to her as a child of mine.
Do you have in mind my position?
That is simply impossible.
What is right can never be impossible.
We've really never seen this story before from a story of a mixed-race girl being raised in high society as an aristocrat. How does that hit you?
To me, it was incredibly refreshing. I've been fascinated with this period through sort of my knowledge of Jane Austen stories, predominantly growing up.
Now, I'm appalled that we didn't know this story, but I'm delighted that it's out there now, and in the hope that people will want to explore more and say, well, what are the other stories that we don't know about?
The film and the script uses the usual construct and narratives of like a Jane Austen period drama, but turns every point that you were expecting on its head. I mean, everything.
And so for me to be able to see that familiar classic period drama world, but told from a brand new perspective, as you said, from a mixed race girl's perspective in the 1780s, and it's based on a real painting, she really existed. That was incredibly exciting because I felt like it was an area of history that had been totally overlooked.
May I present the second of my two nieces, Miss Dido Lindsay?
I find her repulsive.
Papa, how may I be too high in rank to dine with the servants and too low to dine with my family?
Though I understand she is kept under interesting rules, she raises questions.
I want to go back to the beginning, way back. How did your producers land on this project? How did this whole thing start?
Well, my producer, Damien Jones, was visiting Kenwood House, which is the house that Dido Belle was raised in. And at that particular time, the painting of Dido Belle, it's an infamous painting where she's this biracial girl standing next to her cousin, who is white, and they're treated as equals in the painting. He sees this painting with his wife, who happens to be a woman of color, and she says, you should be making a movie about this.
I remember looking at the picture of Dido there and just seeing her mischievous gaze and her bright eyes, and she just seemed to have so much personality about her compared with a lot of paintings of the period which are quite stiff and subdued, and I thought, oh wow, this girl's interesting.
Would you do me the honor of taking some air with me?
Don't you care what people will say?
What should anyone say?
I had no idea she'd be so black.
How did you become her? Because it is so complex. Her story is fascinating, but it's multi-layered.
Yes.
And I feel like you can't really think about all of the bigness of it.
No, and it's fascinating, in a sort of analytical way to discuss the themes at this point, but actually in person on the day, I was much more concerned with, creating a living, breathing human being.
Instinctively, the family, they want to protect her and they love her and they want what's best for her, but they know if they just put her out in society that she will be discriminated against.
First one is on them. We're with you, so you cross-frame, but that's okay. What I saw was the opportunity to possibly tell a story that combined politics, race, art and history, and that would be a dream.
Amara Sante, she has such a wonderful grace and elegance about her as a person, and I think that comes through her taste and the aesthetic in the movie.
Can I tell you how good it feels to A, be able to give a voice to the historic character, but B, create a role for a woman of color, to give an actress the opportunity to be in a real period drama feels good.
Even if people come in because they think, oh, this looks beautiful, this looks intriguing, and then they'll find there's so much more than what's apparently on the surface.
There are rules in place which dictate how we live.
You break every rule when it matters enough, Papa. I am the evidence.
Made in Hollywood.